Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session that I did with a lady who was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and she was very worried that her condition that was due to being overweight. She was about 30 kilos overweight in pounds. I know there's a lot of people from the States listening. 30 kilos is about 66 pounds because it's 2.2 pounds per kilo. So 66 pounds overweight, and she was told that if she doesn't lose weight, it's highly likely that she's going to become a diabetic, type 2 diabetic. Now, I've actually worked with a few people that have actually got type 2 diabetes, and a lot of people with type 2 diabetes know other people with type 2 diabetes. And what I think a lot of people don't really comprehend with type 2 diabetes, because it's such a common condition, is where type 2 diabetes can lead to. Yes, you've got the insulin resistance element, but equally, cuts and wounds heal very slowly. Because it affects blood flow. Quite often, what's common in diabetics is known as diabetic ulcers, particularly in the feet, and that can actually lead to the requirement of amputations because the wounds don't heal. So in this particular hypnosis session, what you're going to hear is basically a dual future kind of hypnosis session where the lady was able to visit two different futures, a future where she doesn't change, and then she actually experiences the direct consequences of this diabetes, and a future where she does change and changes the belief systems, changes the approach that she would have to losing weight. And one of the key beliefs that she had that I discussed with her, I said, look, what would it take for you to actually lose weight if you had to? And she said, well, I would have to stop eating all the foods that I like. And that is not an unusual belief system for people that lose weight, because normally diets do stop you from eating all the foods that you like. But in a quick discussion with her, it turned out there was loads of foods that she really did like that would help her lose weight. Lots of vegetables, lots of salads, lots of fresh fruit. So in this hypnosis session, you're going to hear two key things. One, visiting an undesirable future where she keeps gaining weight and then has the impact, the health impact of that on her life, where maybe she can't walk and can't do the things that she wants to do. But then also a belief change where she believes that she can lose weight by choosing foods that she enjoys, and that will be how she lose weight. If you're listening to this because you're pre-diabetic, or even if you have early stages of diabetes, I would say definitely speak to your doctor, speak to your GP alongside any of this kind of approach. This isn't really asking you to do anything other than eat healthily, but it is always good to keep your doctor informed with this kind of stuff. If you're listening to this and you feel it doesn't quite match your outcome that you're looking for, there will be a link nearby that will enable you to schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me, and then you can explore working with me directly based entirely around your circumstance and your need. So for now, though, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of tension to leave your body. And notice that on the next breath in, you feel like you're breathing in a a feeling of positivity and optimism, breathing in that optimism. And then as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And in doing so, you're able to focus more of your attention on the sound of my words, continuing to breathe in and breathe out, and noticing the speed of your breathing is slowing down. As you breathe in, you're breathing in a tiny bit more than you normally would. And as you exhale, that outward breath lasts a tiny bit longer, meaning that you're taking deeper and deeper breaths. And I wonder what it would be like if you believed that the deeper you breathed, the deeper relaxed you feel. And the deeper relaxed you feel, the better able you are to experience a deeper level of access to your subconscious mind. Continue to breathe in and breathe out through your nose and notice just how much of what happens in your world happens without any conscious choice. You don't consciously choose to blink, and yet you do it thousands of times each day. Right now, you're breathing in and breathing out consciously, but most of the time, your body breathes and inhales and exhales without any conscious thought. You can't make your heart beat faster or slower just by deciding to. And therefore, so much of what's happening in your world is outside of your conscious awareness. Continue to breathe in and breathe out, and you start to realize that as your physical body relaxes, your imagination is becoming more vivid and more alert. Your imagination is the interface between your conscious and your unconscious mind. And you know that to be true because some of your best ideas just came up as a movie in your mind's eye or as a conversation inside your own head. Sometimes your mind will revisit memories of positive times. You'll extract value from those positive times that make you feel different in the present. And I want you to remember a time when you were walking in a forest, perhaps the New Forest. And if you can recall a time like that, maybe it was early in the morning. Get a sense of the freshness of the air, the unique smell there is at that time of day. Maybe seeing light breaking through the treetops. And when you can recall that time back there in the New Forest, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And maybe you were seeing yourself there in the forest like you're someone else, but I wonder what it would be like to be back in that body, back in that version of you, back in that forest, breathing in the freshness of the air, feeling whatever temperature it was back then. As your legs move, feel that you can feel your feet in your shoes. Imagine wearing whatever clothing is appropriate to be in this forest. And maybe you see something, like a bird or a deer. Maybe you remember the noises, maybe your feet making the sound on the ground beneath you, maybe occasionally hearing the odd twig or branch break. And it feels good to be back in this place. You feel positive, resourceful, like your imagination can explore different ideas. And strangely, I want you to imagine that here in the New Forest there is a clearing. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine the most comfortable sofa that you've ever seen. And maybe it's comfortable because it's an old, comfy sofa, or maybe it's a luxurious sofa. Allow your imagination to decide for you, but there it is, in a place it shouldn't be. Why would a sofa be in a forest, and yet here it is, there in a clearing? I want you to imagine sitting on that sofa, looking around. Because of how quiet you are and how quiet the surroundings are, maybe you do see nature in all its wonder. And there on that sofa, very soon, I will count down from 10 to 1, and you will imagine what it would be like if you fell asleep on a comfortable sofa there in the New Forest. With each descending number, you will feel 10% deeper and deeper relaxed until I arrive at 0, and at that point you will imagine what it would be like if you fell asleep there on that sofa in a clearing in the New Forest. And it will be a wonderful feeling, starting to count 10, eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. That's it. 9, releasing any tension on your forehead, around your cheeks and jaw. That's it. 8, having that relaxing sensation go all the way down your face into your neck and your shoulders. That's it. 7, releasing that tension now. And you can adjust your body to make you even more relaxed as you feel like you're sat on a sofa in a forest. That's it. 6, feeling that feeling of relaxation going all the way down your arms into the very tips of your fingers, so that your arms feel limp and loose, and like if someone held them up, they would just flop all the way back down. That's it. As you breathe in, 5, even your internal organs start to relax. Your stomach relaxes. Heart relaxes. Lungs relax, enabling you to breathe even deeper of that clean, crisp forest air. That's it. 4, going into your gut. Even your intestines start to relax. That's it. 3, into your legs. Your legs feel limp and loose. Any tension that you're holding on to, you can release it now. You don't need to here on this sofa in this forest. You can let go of that tension. That's it. Starting to really relax now. Deep, deep, deep relax. That's it. 2. That's it. Imagine what it would be like if you did fall asleep there on that sofa in that forest, in that clearing. That's it. 2, and then 1, and then 0. Imagine what it would be like that you were so deeply asleep that you were dreaming you were in the same forest, seeing that there is someone that looks just like you fast asleep on a sofa in a clearing in a forest. And if you could imagine walking up to that version of you, lifting up your hand from your wrist, shaking the arm, feeling how limp and loose that arm is, and then letting it go. And you see that that version of you is so deeply lost in a trance-like state that you're so relaxed that it's like you're sleeping. Let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine somewhere in this forest nearby is a door. And this door will lead to a future. And it's a future that you don't want. But sometimes we need to see a future that we don't want to unlock the resources to access a future that we do want. You can see 2 doors in this forest, not attached to any buildings, just hovering there like a portal to the future. If you can imagine standing in front of a doorway, a closed door, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I will count down from 5 to 1, and you will imagine seeing a future that you don't want. Before you open this door, just accept this is a future that you don't want. This is a future where no changes take place. Unhelpful beliefs are still believed. Unhelpful habits are still followed. There is a belief of powerlessness that you can make any difference and changes to your life. And you will continue taking your life in exactly the direction that it has been going regarding your weight and your health. This is not a destiny. The reason for visiting this future is to avoid it. Forewarned is forearmed, and by visiting this future, you know exactly what not to do. Starting to count before we open this door and visiting an undesirable future. 5, putting your hand on the door handle. 4, twisting that handle. 3, opening the door. 2, walking through the door. 1, closing the door behind you. And then 0. Now in that future. Only in this future you're going to see yourself like you're someone else. And imagine nothing changes. See yourself with the belief that food has no consequences. You can eat as much as you want and there's no problems. See yourself choosing foods that you know might be nice and delicious, but has a consequence that means that your weight will continue to get higher and higher. See that version of you lying to themselves. And one of the lies that they tell themselves is that the only way to lose weight is to not eat all the food that they enjoy. You can see it's a lie, but they don't know it's a lie because they feel like it's true. So they continue to eat the food that they like, telling themselves that this is the only option. Telling themselves that they'll join a gym in the future when they finally lose weight. Hear them with all the excuses coming again and again, and you can see them for what they are because you're disassociated. You can see that they're excuses, but the version of you saying them doesn't realize they're excuses. They feel like they're true. And you can see that the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, and the weight gets higher. What was pre-diabetes before is now a diagnosis of diabetes. And yet nothing changes. If anything, the stress that it causes leads to even more eating. And then see that occasionally whatever treatment is prescribed for that diabetes may be the occasional shot of insulin, occasionally is forgotten or deliberately not used. As time goes on, maybe months, maybe years, you can see that the consequence of the body adjusting to this diabetic state is leading to what starts off as just harmless cuts, scratches, except they don't heal very quickly. They turn into ulcers, and the ulcers don't heal. And then see a future version of you having an appointment at a doctor or at a hospital where they inform you that nothing's working. That these wounds aren't healing by themselves. And see that version of you being informed that you are on a list, a waiting list for an amputation. I don't know which arm or leg or body part needs to be amputated, only you can see that. And then imagine that you speed through time and then see that version of you having the anesthetic, having the treatment, being told it's the only way. Imagine you're looking through a glass window, seeing the operation take place, seeing the body part being removed, and having a sense that surely this could be avoided. And then imagine that time goes on and most people don't realize that for a diabetic that has one amputation, In over 50% of cases, they have a second amputation within 2 years. Imagine you're back there, maybe the same hospital, maybe a different one, and a different body part is being amputated. And at this point, it becomes very difficult to exercise. Things that you used to take for granted, like walking, enjoying nature, are not practical anymore. It's difficult to navigate the new forest in a wheelchair. And I want you to be left with a sensation, if only I could go back in time and make different choices. If only I believed that I could lose weight and enjoy the process. If only I started thinking of my body fat as a battery pack of energy to spend day by day slowly, so that over a year that body fat would be lost. I want you to imagine climbing into that version of you, being the version of you with a sense of regret, a sense of, if only I could go back in time and change things. Feel yourself in your body with the missing body parts. Feel that options are closing. Feel how overweight you are. And if you reach the point where you feel enough is enough, I must go back in time, I must prevent this future from happening. If you're at that point, let me know by nodding your head. And then, imagine you're back behind the door. You've had a glimpse of a future that you don't want. And you're left with the feeling that there is something you can do to stop that happening. And the answer is behind a different door. A door to the future that you do want. Only this time, you won't see yourself as someone else. You will be in your own body as you walk through that second door. And if you're now standing in front of the second door of the future that you do want, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I'll count down from 5 to 1, and then you will open the door and you will remain in your body as day by day you start to make different choices, updating different beliefs that takes your life into a direction of not losing weight to be happy and not losing weight to be healthy, but happily losing weight. And by being healthy, you lose weight, rather than losing weight to be healthy. Standing in front of that door, 5, putting your hand on the handle, 4, opening the door, 3, walking through the door of a future you do want, 2, closing the door behind you, and then 1, there in that future, finding yourself in your own home, perhaps in your own kitchen, except something's changed. You've seen the future you don't want, and you're determined to take your life in a different direction. There won't be any more diabetics in your family. You certainly won't be the next one. And the first thing to change is a belief. An old belief used to be that in order to lose weight, I can't eat the foods that I enjoy. And now I want you to think about all those foods that you really do enjoy, that are healthy. Think of those salads that you find delicious. Think of those vegetables that would be an excellent ingredient in a stir fry or a curry. I want you to think of foods that you could bake or grill, foods that you could put into a salad that are delicious for you anyway. You don't have a sweet tooth, but from this point forwards, you will consider fruit as nature's sweet shop. If you have a craving for something sweet, fruit will be the first thing that pops into your mind, and I want you to think of 3 of your favorite fruits that you enjoy anyway. And when you think of them, just let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to think of 3 of your favorite vegetables. Vegetables that it is not a chore or a hassle to eat. You enjoy eating them anyway. And I want you to think for each of these 3 vegetables, 3 different ways that you could cook or eat them that would be really enjoyable for you. And once you've done that, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to think of 3 different ways in which you could just be more active. Perhaps gardening, walking, or maybe going to the gym while watching a TV show that you like to watch anyway. Feel what it feels like, not to put too much pressure on yourself, but just to do different things that you have been doing. Maybe you walk just 5 minutes one day. Maybe you garden in a way that gets you slightly out of breath. Maybe you just say, you know what, I'm not going to wait to lose weight till I join the gym. I'm going to join the gym because that's where I'm going to watch my TV shows. There on a treadmill, just walking, or a cross trainer with the legs that will start moving by themselves as you get completely lost in a TV show. With no expectation of losing weight, just an expectation to enjoy different things, to go out of your comfort zone, to try different ways that are enjoyable and different for you anyway. You have more time in your life now. Why not use that time for you rather than against you? You've decided to put yourself first, and this future is what that future is like. You putting yourself first. You can't help anyone else if you're sick, with limbs amputated, very overweight, but you can as that weight starts to leave your body. As you get more active, you become healthier. As you learn to choose foods that are nutritious and healthy and help you lose weight as a side effect of just enjoying good food, replacing your snacks with meals, drinking more water. Notice that as the days turn into weeks, you're losing weight. And what you lose in weight, you gain in confidence. And then the weeks, you start noticing a different reflection of you in car windows and shop windows. As the weeks turn into months, you start getting compliments from strangers asking you, what happened? What are you doing? And hear yourself reply, I just remembered there's a lot of food I like that is just really healthy. I'm not losing weight to be happy, I'm happily losing weight. And maybe they think you're teasing them or playing games, but it feels true to you. Because for a long while you believed that losing weight meant struggle, and losing weight meant all the things you can't have. And now you start thinking of all the things you can have. You get to be more active. You get to eat delicious food. And as you do so, notice that you don't have to be perfect to lose weight. And the more you do something, the more you want to do something. And sometimes you'll fall off the track or the wagon, and then you can just, at any point in time, decide to get back on. Because you know that when you make good choices, there's a ripple effect towards this life that you want. I want you to imagine a year has passed now and you've lost a significant amount of weight. Maybe you're at the target that you want to be, or maybe you're getting towards that target, and then time continues. Maybe another few months, and then you're there. On the scales, you can see that weight that you've wanted to be, and now you are that weight. Clothes fit you better. You're not super skinny, but you're happy in this body, you're happy in this weight. And as you think back, you remember you didn't have to be perfect to get here. Just consistent. Doing things that were different to how they used to be because you think different, and you've unlocked all the resources to avoid a future that you didn't want anyway. And if it feels good to be this shape, at this weight, with this energy and confidence and feeling as healthy as you do, let me know by nodding your head. And then, we return to the forest. You're back in the forest, seeing those 2 closed doors, knowing that there is a future that is full of pain and stress and anxiety and anguish and sadness. And all you need to do to experience that future is to do what you have been doing in the past. Or you can choose a future of pride, accomplishment, satisfaction, confidence and self-esteem. A future where you get to feel good, not just about what you've become, but who you became to get there. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And in that future, you don't just surprise yourself, but you inspire the people around you. There will be people that you don't even know that are inspired to make changes by you choosing to go through that door and experience that future. And that future is not about being perfect. It's about learning what works and what doesn't, and doing more of what takes you to a life of health, happiness, confidence and energy. And when all parts of your unconscious mind have decided that this is the future you want, and this is the future you're capable of, and this is the future that you will start making progress towards, let me know by nodding your head. And then you walk away from the doors, seeing someone that looks exactly like you, fast asleep on a sofa. And you realize that your conscious mind has been asleep all this time. Imagine climbing into that version of you, feeling that yourself is in your body again once more, but feeling that these new beliefs, these new ways of thinking, the new resources are all unlocked and absolutely committed to a future that is desirable, and totally committed to avoiding a future of pain and anguish and sadness. Imagine getting up out of that chair, breathing in the fresh, clean air, but feeling like you're the version of you that will be there in 2 years' time. Feel that you're already the weight you want to be. Feel light, feel energetic. Feel like this is possible for you to achieve this body simply by making minor adjustments that build up over time. And then you realize this is your imagination taking you on a journey, and that actually you're listening to my voice firmly in the present as you're in your present right now. Very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, but right now, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. As very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, and you will awaken feeling optimistic, motivated, determined, ready to do whatever it takes to take your life in a direction that you deserve, and a future of happiness and possibility. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.